Okay, it's officially on and popping. Hello, this is Make It Plain, and I am your host, Alfonso McGriff III, presenting the Supremely Empowered Women's Series. Today's guest is Sister Danielle McBride in the house. Dondi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Okay, I was caught in the middle of saying Dondi and Danielle. Which one do you prefer?
uh, we family. Whatever is comfortable for you. You know, I'm Dondi to you.
Dondi is definitely in the house. So, Dondi, what I like to do is get right to it. I don't get into all of your awards and accolades and all that stuff. We just get right down to the brass tacks of things. And today we can get this party started by having you talk to us first about trichology.
Okay. So, Danielle McBride, board certified holistic health practitioner, certified clinical trichologist. For those who are into titles, like you, Alfonso, I'm not into titles. At the end of the day, it's can I get results or not, and if I can make a difference in someone's life. And so, as a trichologist, for those who are new to the science, it's just simply a deeper understanding of hair and scalp diseases and disorders. And my original background is cosmetologist. I was trained to tell my clients who were losing hair that it was stress. And after their hair not coming back of deep conditioners and protein treatments, I just understood that it had to be more than protein and deep conditioners. So I took more study in the field of trichology. And here's where I'm having results with helping people get their own hair back naturally, not needing to wear weaves or tracks or surgery or medication or anything like that.
So for a lot of people, you know, you're like a miracle worker because in the past, if your hair started going thin, it was a wrap. Just that's just how life is. But now you have a lot of different approaches to recovering hair growth. Can you talk about some of those things?
Yeah, so when it comes to the different approaches, it's for me what worked for me, and I know you'll probably have other practitioners and people who deal with hair loss and alopecia listening later. So I just want to share what worked for me. I decided to take the natural approach, and understanding the body systems was key. And so I focus mainly on the body systems and how those communicate with one another. So, key point is we've all heard that, we're healed by the blood. And so, hair is nourished by the blood. And so, understanding how the circulatory system works, understanding if you're like me, you had a grandmother, if you started to lose your hair, she said, "Oh, baby, that's just your stress spot." Okay, and so then understanding stress is a part of the nervous system. So, not only understanding the circulatory system, but understanding the nervous system. And then, with hair being nourished by the blood, it needs nutrition. So, understanding the intestinal system, the digestive system, the immune system, how all of those communicate in concert with one another. Hair, skin, and nails being what we call the first sacrificial lamb. And so, if the body is negotiating with nutrition, I love what I do because hair, skin, and nails is going to be that first barometer that tells you may have some nutritional deficiencies. So, my different approaches have a lot to do with understanding those body systems and understanding where they may be deficient in. And I got to give a lot of credit to one of the scientists, Dr. Raymond Francis. And he was my first person that broke it down to a really, really simple way of understanding where he said there's just one disease. And that one disease was deficiency of nutrition and toxicity in the cell. And then I was able to meet other great people. I'm not going to go down the list of names. They know who they are. Um, but yeah, I started to see the consistency and understanding the body systems and getting the hair back to work. And I decided to take the natural approach. So I do everything either herbal, food, um, essential oils, mainly food, essential oils, and herbs.
Okay. Well, you mentioned essential oils. Talk to us about essential oils.
So I'm a baby in essential oils. I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. Some people think, I know all of this wonderful stuff about essential oils, but I'm very honest in saying that it's impossible for anyone to know everything about anything. And so the more I learn about essential oils, the more I realize there's so much I don't know about the magic of them. So I'll share what I have learned, and I'll share what has been working for my clients, and I'll share what I have experienced knowledge in and I've seen evidence of with my clients. So there's a few key essential oils that I work with: frankincense, lavender, cedarwood, thyme, rosemary, lemon, and cypress, right? And so each one of those has a medicinal purpose. So rosemary would be that essential oil for my clients who may be having hormonal imbalances. So rosemary helps with the hormones. Then frankincense, when they're stressed, and right now everyone's in a stress state, that's that essential oil that I'm going to pull out to help calm and relax the nervous system. Cedar wood, that's that essential oil that's going to help with the circulatory system. Thyme is that essential oil that's going to help with your respiratory system, which is huge right now. And then lavender is also going to help with calming and relaxation as well. So those are my key essential oils that I work with. There's many others, but those are the key foundations that I work with. And right now, too, when I mention nutrients and oxygen to the cell, it's important that we're not deprived of getting oxygen into the body and into the bloodstream. And so there's another essential oil that I work with called Breathe Essential Oil. And I create actually a mask essential oil because unfortunately some people who have to go to work are forced to restrict their breathing, forced to restrict their oxygen into the body. And they tell me they can't breathe. They can't breathe. They're tired. They're either getting sore throats at the end of the day. Now I'm getting a lot of phone calls with clients who are literally having pneumonia and bronchitis from wearing the mask all day, going in the hospital, not realizing the link to inhaling your own carbon dioxide for long periods of time. So those essential oils are key. I try to do what I can to help people relieve some of that through the essential oils.
And so, how are these essential oils used? Are they used in just rubbing it in your hands and rolling it around, and using it in the diffuser?
Yeah, so there's 3 ways that we recommend. First way is aromatically, where you can inhale. And that's just simply, you can rub it on the hands and actually do one of these numbers. If anyone has ever gone in for dental work and they have had laughing gas, they use that cup to cover the nose, and they don't hear the gas, they don't see the gas, they don't smell the gas. Next thing you know, they're just cracking up laughing because they're actually inhaling laughing gas, and they're actually activating that olfactory nerve, which is a straight IV to the brain. So it alters the brain and creates laughter. Same thing if anyone's going in for surgery. They'll tell you to count back down to 10. Again, they got that clear cup hovering over the nose and mouth, and you think you're going to make it backwards down to 10. Next thing you know, you wake up in the recovery room. You don't hear the gas, you don't see the gas, you don't smell the gas. And next thing you know, you woke up in the recovery room. So what's happening with aromatically is the same thing, but it's nutritional. So now you're sending nutrition aromatically to the brain to help uplift and stimulate and send nutrients that'll help a person calm in spirit and also feel more happy about the environment that they're in. Because the other thing I want to say is that mask. When I mentioned the dentist, and when I also mentioned surgery, the mask is doing the same thing. You're covering your nose and your mouth, and you're inhaling carbon dioxide. You don't hear it, you don't see it, you don't smell it, but it does have an effect, right? And if you have on glasses, you can sometimes see it because it'll fog up your glasses. So it's important to balance as much as possible. And so those essential oils you can do aromatically. Another way you can diffuse. So I have some clients that I'll encourage them to have a diffuser at work. Definitely if you're going to sleep. Okay, so definitely they can diffuse it in the house if they're going to sleep, or even if they have a neighbor sometimes that may have certain herbs that come through the house. You just want to clear that air so they can diffuse it after using it aromatically. And then there's also topically. Depending on their skin sensitivities, they can use a carrier oil. Skin is living, breathing, and it's our first line of defense. And so anything that goes on the skin goes in the bloodstream. And so that's not to be discounted. If you remember anytime you needed to break a baby's fever, if you rub the baby down with alcohol, then you would help break the baby's fever. So the essential oils work the same way. Once you rub them on, they go into the bloodstream and they do their magic. So 3 ways aromatically, you can diffuse it, and topically.
Okay, you used the term um, referencing an oil that you use to mix.
Oil I use to mix? What do you mean?
You use the term that means we use this oil to mix with the.
Oh, the carrier oil?
Yeah. Now, what do you mean when you say that?
So oil carries oil. And so all of our cells are surrounded by an oily membrane. And a lot of reasons why traditional uh, pharmaceuticals or over the counter medication may not work is because it's water based. And water and oil and water don't mix. And so it can't penetrate bypass that oily membrane that's around the cell. And so the magic of essential oils is the blood of plants. And so when I mentioned earlier, as humans, we're healed by the blood. And so when you're extracting the oil from plants, you're sorry about that. You're considering it the blood of the plant, but it's an oily, it's in oil form, and so it can bypass that oily membrane that's around the human cell. So a carrier oil is what I would drop the essential oils in so that it can be carried. Now, some people, they don't have skin sensitivities. So I'm what I would call a neat person. I use all my oils neat. And that means I don't use a carrier oil except with oregano. So there's another blend that I help my clients with who may be having flu-like symptoms, and I'll put together a veggie cap of oregano, thyme, and rosemary because that actually helps to cut back on viruses, germs, bacteria, and pathogens. And that oregano really goes in there and does an amazing job to boost the immune system. And so the important thing is to not try to fight disease, but to build your immune system. So the carrier oil, definitely I will use with oregano and or for people who have skin sensitivities. And that carrier oil could be coconut oil, it could be jojoba oil, it can be almond oil, but you need oil to carry oil into the cells.
I can dig it. I can dig it. That makes sense to me. So let's talk about organic feminine care.
Yeah. This is a new item that I started adding to my business because of all of the issues and challenges that our women are having. We have a rise in PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. We have a rise in hysterectomies, partial or full. We have a rise in fibroids. We just have a rise in very unhealthy uteral issues. I don't want to get too graphic, but everything has cause, effect, action, reaction. And the more I started learning and researching, I learned that the over the counter standard traditional feminine care products is actually recycled trash, bleached recycled trash, and that they carry dioxins. And when a woman puts this product next to her body, and the body temperature of the heat of the feminine care product, the dioxin starts to get absorbed into the woman. Again, the vaginal is a canal. And so we start to, over time, have more and more vaginal issues. So when I was introduced to this organic feminine care product, I started to check out the testimonies. I tested it myself. True story. I was in disbelief because I was told that this product could minimize cramps. I was told that this product could help reduce blood flow, and that just does not sound believable, right? But what ended up happening was I went from traditional over-the-counter feminine care products, and at 8 o'clock, I used my new organic feminine care product, and I didn't have much flow. And I was like, I wasn't gonna have much flow anyway. I went into straight disbelief. Then at 12 o'clock, I put on the standard over the counter, and at 12 o'clock, I got heavy flow. So I said, oh, well, the heavy flow was gonna start at 12 o'clock anyway. So at 4 o'clock, because I gave each one 4 hours time frame, at 4 o'clock, I put back on the organic. The flow subsided again. So I was like, wait a minute, is this thing really stopping or reducing my flow? And I really got concerned because that cleansing is necessary. It's the woman's way of getting rid of bad blood every month. And so I don't recommend women to stop that natural cleansing process. And so I got a little concerned when it seemed like mine was being interrupted. So called a doctor friend of mine, and I said, hey, what's going on here? And that's when he said to me, your body is receiving toxins with the over-the-counter. And that's why your flow picked back up when you use the over-the-counter. And then when you switch back to the organic, it wasn't picking up the toxins from the organic, and that's why it slowed down. So from there, I was totally sold. I was like, wow, I really got to help women and bring awareness to women about the simple fact that a lot of the issues they are having can be contributed to their feminine care products. So I know that's what I experienced, and I love to share and care. So that's the organic feminine care, and I started adding it because toxicity is key. So I'm always looking for ways when it comes to helping my clients get their hair back. How can they detox? How can they not introduce these toxins into the body that would cause additional stress? So we have the essential oils. We have the organic feminine care that's reducing the toxins that will help cut down on the heavy blood flow and other feminine issues.
I can dig it. Okay, so what you use the term detox, and there are a lot of different understandings of detox. Do you have any particular way that you detox from a food standpoint, or?
No, I like to use fruits and veggies, and I really would like us to get away from making it so complicated. meaning that whatever we eat, the body assimilates, it gets its nutrients from there, and then the waste gets eliminated. Um, Fruits and veggies will do that because there's fiber in the fruits and veggies, natural fiber that will help elimination. Herbs is good as well. I use actually the Cascara Sagrada and the psyllium husk, and I'll do that daily to help promote a good elimination. And a lot of the doctors that I continue to shadow under, they're pretty consistent. They don't know one another. That a lot of our issues are from the fact that we have toxins that are in the body. So water is a good detox. So water, fruits and veggies, herbs. I don't like to name it because your cells at a cellular level, they don't know the names of all these fancy diets that people are giving certain diets. Listen to your body. Some people, they can get a good elimination with apple juice. Some people can get a good elimination with prune juice. Some people can get a good elimination by eating pears, right? So I don't think it should be that complicated. I think everyone should listen to their body. No two people are alike. And this cookie cutter way of health, we really, 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 really got to get away from.
Sounds like a winner. Okay, you're giving out a lot of information. I hope people are taking it in. I hope it makes sense to them, and I hope it works for people. So the organic feminine care, is that something you sell?
Yeah. So I have it in office, and right now I think it'd be a little unfair if I didn't also share that I'm really, really hoping that people are learning from this time that we're in, where their income at any given moment can be shut down. So everything I do, there's a business opportunity in there as well. Everything I do is about health and economics. And so I do sell it in office. And for people who may have been out of work or looking for another way that their income isn't just cut off by the simple the PSA on the TV, I'm always looking for ways to help empower people economically as well.
And you also have the essential oils and the diffuser and things like that available?
Yeah. So, there are companies that you can get what I call linear income essential oils. And linear income, means you can go to a store and pick up essential oils. But I really feel as consumers, we really need to own a part of the business of anything we're purchasing. If we're going to spend the dollars, we should have a part in getting back something from what we're spending our money on. And across the board, I think we're probably the only culture that is too comfortable with putting our money into things that we're not a part of the economic system and getting money back. So the essential oils, yes, if you're going to use them, definitely be, make it part of your business to get money back. Feminine care products, these companies, when you go to CVS or Walgreens, they're not going to give you a rebate check, right? So my granddaughter, this is my granddaughter's second business. So I'm teaching my granddaughter very early to be a teenpreneur. And she has these two businesses. She is now a woman. And so for her and all her cousins and all her friends, they support her business because it's not optional, So I started her out very, 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 very early. So everything I do I look for things that are health and wellness and economic empowerment. So there's always a business opportunity attached to it.
Always a business opportunity attached to it. Okay. Well then, tell us about this next business opportunity called magnet therapy.
The magnet therapy. So that's old school. You know, magnet therapy is nothing new. It's been around. It's just, what I call been revamped. And we're electromagnetic beings, right? And what would be your example of that? I told you to leave that dude on your Facebook alone earlier today. I told you he was going to wear you out. You is not over here yawning in the middle of the interview. I told you to leave that brother alone.
Tell the world that they didn't see me.
Say that again.
I said, why you have to tell the world that?
Because I'm looking at you. I was speaking about magnetic and energetic energy. I'm feeding off your energy right now.
Actually, he also got upset with somebody else that was on the page and just blocked me. Period.
Oh my goodness. With the magnet therapy, it's nothing new. We are electromagnetic beings. You're evidence of that. If you've ever walked on carpet for a long period of time and tried to touch the door, you got shocked. You had an electrical current that went through you. And so understanding that energy is never lost nor destroyed, and also that we're magnetic. Magnets have been around for a very, very long time to help relieve pain. And so I'm not a person that believes in, we're not supposed to be here on this planet. And so what I mean by that is you're not going to get away from electromagnetic frequencies. We got our phones, we got our laptops, we got the microwave. We have a lot of conveniences, but our cells do respond to them. Just because we don't have immediate response doesn't mean that they're not responding. I like what one of my teachers said: just because you don't see something happening don't mean that nothing is happening, right? And our grandmothers all told us still water runs deep. So with the magnets, I have tested it myself, which I do with everything before I introduce to my clients. And they have actually been able to relieve knee pain and hip pain with wearing the magnetic bracelets, jewelries, or necklaces. I'm not a bracelet person, but if you see me, you'll always see me with either my earrings on that are magnetic and or my necklace, because I want to protect my heart energy and I want to protect my mental energy. And so exposing my geek side, I love science, I love biology, I love chemistry. For those who are never experienced the magnets, there's a negative side and a positive side. And you actually see, if you ever try to put two magnets together, they will attract or you can't connect them. And that's how you know which side you're on. Calling it negative or positive, try to tell the magnet what side they're on. It's happening whether you understand it or not. And so I have a lot of clients who are really sensitive to these electromagnetic fields. I'm actually one of them in the sense that I don't have a TV. You know that, but most people don't know that I don't own a TV. I don't own a TV because there's too much negative frequency that comes through the TV, and I myself can pick that up. I'll start to get headaches, I'll start to get lightheaded, I'll start to get dizzy. And so for me, I have to ground that energy. I have to take my daily rides, I have to get in the car, I have to get back into nature, and I have to ground myself back in nature. But for those who don't know, if you are having headaches and you're properly hydrated, because you can have headaches from dehydration as well, you definitely want to check the electromagnetic frequencies that you may be surrounding yourself around. Okay, and that could be, again, from too much TV at night. I have some clients with kids that they wake up screaming in the middle of the night. And literally, it just takes simply them getting outside, putting their feet in the dirt, and grounding that energy that the body picked up. So the magnets are pretty. You know, I'm a glitter girl. And so I finally found a company that has beautiful magnetic jewelry that I like in glitter. And yes, it is medicinal, it has a health purpose, and there's an economic benefit to it. Yeah, so that's the magnets.
And you mentioned bracelets.
Yes, so they have the magnetic bracelets as well. So there's minerals of the earth that we should all be connecting with. So a lot of times you might have seen your grandmother with the copper bracelet. The copper also helped with relieve some pain. Neodymium is a mineral. I'm sorry, neodymium is a magnet that helps relieve pain, but also hematite is a mineral that also helps these cells and also helps with pain relief.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Don Delina is serious about the business.
Intentional and purposeful. Everything I do has, how can this help my cells, right? And how can this help me help others economically? Because it's not just about me, right? You don't want to be the only healthy person walking around this earth.
That's not sexy.
It's not sexy. Yeah, you got to help others be sexy. Only those who want to be, though. You know, I'm seeing some strange things happening around these times.
So, okay, so in what way do um, what are your secrets to having some of your secrets to having a great life? You know, wonderful great life.
Okay, so my dandyism, right? I'm up at 4. I have a morning ritual, and first thing I do, gratitude, thankful and grateful. That's the first thing I do. If when I open my eyes, I'm thankful and grateful, and then after being thankful and grateful, I realize that I'm supposed to be here. And if I'm supposed to be here, then there's nothing I need to be afraid of throughout this entire day that I woke up. So I have this confidence already that if I woke up, I'm supposed to be here. I don't need to be afraid of anything or anyone. And the next thing is who can I help? Right? And so after thankful and grateful, I give myself my confidence. I'm thankful that I don't have the fear to do whatever I'm supposed to do in the day. And then I look for guidance and direction on who can I help, who wants that same freedom, because I'm learning more and more that some people love their demons. You know, they don't want to let them go. And make my smoothie, have my tea, do my morning walk. And ironically, I love walking in the cold, even though I don't like being cold. I bundle up really good. And something about that cool, brisk air going through my nose in the morning while the birds are just coming up, connecting with nature, that just really gives me a sound peace of mind where I'm at. There's horses that I get to see. So I'm really in an environment where I really get to connect with nature. There's little brooks and streams that I see. There's a nature walk. So I really make sure I connect with nature first thing in the day. And then I'm non-negotiable with the relationships that I have. And I don't entertain, or I don't give myself reasons to stay in toxic, unhealthy friendships, toxic, unhealthy relationships. And really, that's what gives me peace of mind, making sure that everything is about a loving me and loving people, you know. So that's it's simple. That's my simple. I mean, I don't have a, oh, you got to do this and you got to run 10 laps and you throw some cold water. No, no. For me, it's the morning walk and an afternoon ride and eating right.
I can dig it. I'm going to read one of your Dondisms, and you can say whatever you want afterward.
Okay.
Today's Dondism. Since science proves no two things can occupy the same space, how about we fill our space with love versus hate, joy versus misery, happiness versus sadness, celebration versus envy, health over virus focused attention, fellowship versus isolation, faith over fear. In case we forgot, if you woke up today, you're supposed to be here living your birthright's abundant promises on this planet we call Earth. We always say what we would do until it's time to prove it. As one of my wise elders, spiritual guides, and earthly angels as lovingly help me to understand, Dondi, I listen to what you do, not what you say. Actions are the only true language. You will either live your life, lead by spirit or
led by spirit.
By man. You
Yeah.
either live your life led by spirit or led by man. You have the birthright of free will to choose either. One gives freedom, guidance, direction, clarity, love, light, joy, hope, peace, prosperity, abundance, faith, and a sound mind, to name a few. The other does not. Just carrying out loud.
Yes.
Talk to us about that Dondism.
So I live by that. And occasionally I'll get someone needs to hear what I feed myself on a daily basis. And you've known me for a very long time, and so it's been a journey and a process for me to get to this space of lightness, where nothing really bothers me. So that post was because I know a lot of people are struggling through this time. You know, a lot of people are not understanding the power of thoughts become things. They're not understanding the manifestation of as a man thinketh, so is he. They're not remembering, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And so whatever you speak into existence. And if you have hate and envy towards someone, it really boomerangs. When you say, Alfonso makes me sick, right? Literally, you're making yourself sick, because it's not Alfonso that gets sick. It's me, Danielle, that gets sick. And so whatever you speak onto yourself. And so it just came on my heart to share that since no two things can occupy the same space, we need to be and demonstrate what we want in our lives. And so, faith over fear, right? How do you be on this planet Earth for as long as you have been, and then all of a sudden, because the TV said so, you're convinced that you can't breathe freely anymore? How do you, and if you focus on that, you will feel your heart rate accelerate. You will feel you tire yourself out from the worry, the anxiety, and the stress. But if you don't focus on that, and you focus on that, I woke up today, I'm supposed to be here, this is going to be an amazing day, you can't bring in that negativity of that mindset or thought process. And some people may not have ever heard that. So I put it out there so that they can try it, they can test it, and hopefully that they will see if they keep practicing it, it becomes their reality, you know. And then you do have to be your own gatekeeper to eliminate those people who create anxiety around you, because remember, energy never lost nor destroyed, it transfers. And so if you're around me all the time talking negatively, that's going to make me a little depressed, so I have to get from around you. So that's what that post was about.
I can dig it. Okay, so I have another Dondism that's kind of a good follow up to that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to read it
Okay.
and let you tell us a little bit more about it.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Okay. Today's Dondism. My mama taught me once you tell a lie, you have to tell more to keep the truth from being told. Truth, the most amazing creation ever made, is the human body. Lie, we can make it better with surgery, radiation, and man-made drugs. Let's not dump our heads in the sand when it comes to our health. Watch out for fast food, dairy, and pharmaceutical drugs. These are not nutrition, regardless of how many lies you've been told. Stay healthy, people. Disease begins and ends with what you pass through your two lips.
Yes. So that post was from what I experienced with my clients, and also what I've seen in my family. And so I have a strong 93-year-old grandfather who's still living. And he was raised in a time where he tells me the stories of picking cotton. And in his time, you weren't allowed to be sick, because you had to get right back on that cotton field and pick the cotton. And so in his programming, there's nothing wrong with him. He's not sick. And so now that we're in a time where everyone is being programmed to look out, be careful, watch out, there's this invisible boogeyman virus that man has made a celebrity virus. It's interesting to watch the system try to reprogram him into believing that he's sick. So that post was about, we believe these lies for so long we think they're truths. Now, in my grandfather's 93-year-old case, it worked out to his benefit, because he was programmed by the system to not be sick, even if he was sick. But now it's flip-flopped, because now that the system is not making their wealth off of his labor, now the system is flipped to making its wealth off of people's ignorance. And so what I mean by that is, if I keep telling you something, even if it's not true, long enough, you start to believe it. But the interesting thing about nature doesn't negotiate with the fact that you don't understand or recognize truth. And so I'm going to use gravity as an example. Gravity is consistent all around the world. You can never pray yourself up when you jump off a building. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what your faith is. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter your ethnicity. You cannot change that law, that universal law. So when I wrote that post, I just wanted to give people the reminder that just because you hear it a lot, that these lies, they will show up. Meaning, I don't care how much somebody tells you you can jump off a building, and if you pray really, really, really hard, you're going to go up. You're not. And if you look at what's happening, I haven't met a pharmaceutical drug yet that hasn't been recalled. We all see the attorney commercials about 5-10 years down the road where the system is getting now paid off attorneys, where you have malpractice suits and now the attorneys are getting paid. I haven't seen one person get healthier yet. they go from one medication to 3 and 5, and I have some clients that are literally on 11 medications. And so that post was about, it doesn't matter how many times you hear a lie, it does not become the truth. You can't keep feeding your body drugs thinking it's nutrition. So, I like to use crack as an example. We've all had a family member that has dealt with some type of drug that they thought was great, right? Crack addicts, they happy, they dance, they got a lot of energy, right? And so we're taking things that make us feel good, but are slowly killing us. And so I wanted to share that post to just give people a minute to think about this thing. There is no drug that's nutrition. I didn't make the rules. And a lot of times people don't like to hear anything that goes against what another profession may have said, but just look at the truth of that thing, right? There isn't anything man could make that nature has not already provided for us in the form of fruits, veggies, nuts, grains, seeds, water, right? And so I wanted to just give, again, people something to think about that. Just because you hear it a lot doesn't mean it's the truth. It's like that song on the radio that you didn't like the minute it came on, but they keep playing it, and next thing you know, you're singing it, right? It's the same thing. There is no drug that's nutrition. So that's what that post was about.
I can dig it. No drug is nutrition. That's very important. No drug is nutrition.
No drug is nutrition. But let me add to that. Food is nutritional. And so we have the Food and Drug Administration, and there is a saying, let your food be medicine and let your medicine be food. And I can only speak from my clients who have wanted and started to make the change of allowing food to be their nutrition and reversing all of their medical conditions. I'm talking high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, and including my 93-year-old grandfather. So I'm not talking about what I heard. I'm talking real evidence. When I put my grandfather on what I ate, all of his symptoms reversed, where his doctor clearly stated, do not give him one more high blood pressure medication, because he had regulated and normalized in less than 2 weeks that medication would have dropped his blood pressure too low. So when you use food as your medicine and allow medicine to be food, real food, then the body can be optimal. And there's no need for pharmaceutical drugs. But what I'm finding is a lot of people, they want to eat bad, and then they just want to pop a pill to make the pain go away. And there's a price to pay for that. You'll get the promise of taking no nutrition in the body. So I just want to clarify that piece of the food being medicine.
Okay. Well, what I want to do now is just take a second, put the phone number up just in case anybody would like to call in. I always present this option, even though we haven't had any callers.
Okay.
But I like to present this option just in case somebody might want to call in and ask you some questions. So the number is 860-375-3369. Again, the number is 860-375-3669. If you want to call and you have some questions for Danielle McBride, you can call.
That's also real cool. That's real cool. I didn't know you had a call-in section.
Well, yeah, I try to give people that option. Also, I like to tell people about the up and coming people that I will be having conversations with. So, let me see. Wednesday. That
Oh,
will be this Wednesday,
Hillary.
February 10th. Hillary Honeybee Brown will be in the house.
Powerful.
And
Powerful.
I know this time gonna fly because Hillary just
She's amazing.
yeah, and she just has so much great
And
information.
funny.
Yeah. And looking forward to her sharing some of her expertise and
Mm-hmm.
relationships with
Mm-hmm.
us. So yeah, Hillary Honey B. Brown
Mm-hmm.
will be in the house on Wednesday at 7:00 p.m.
Nice.
And then let me see. And then on Sunday, February 14th, Dr. Maya T. Bowen will be in the house with us.
I'm new to her.
She's an educator, and she loves sharing information about education. And
Nice.
so she has a lot of information.
Nice.
And so she'll be with us talking about education. And then on February 15th, Monday, February 15th, we'll have Dr. Annalise Fonza will be in the house.
Wow.
Dr. Annalise Fonza. And she is a brilliant woman. 7:00. And so, we have some interesting people coming up. I'm looking forward to the conversations.
What's her topic? I know Hillary's doing relationships. What's Dr. Fonza
Well,
speaking of?
she's a writer, and she's also many other things too. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome.
so we'll be talking to Dr. Annalise Fonza.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to these conversations.
Yeah.
And also, I'm always open for recommendations because I don't know all of the supremely empowered women out here. So for those, if you have recommendations, you want to inbox me with suggestions, I'm open.
I'll definitely.
Hillary Honeybee Brown inboxed. I mentioned to her to inbox me some suggestions. Hillary's inboxed me about 30 people. I mean, she just rattled them off.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'll definitely be sending some of her information out to some of her recommendations because now, of course, we are working on March. March is Women's Month or something to that effect, right?
Do not get me started on these titles. I'm not I just roll. They can call it whatever they call it. I just roll out. Is it Women's Month in March?
Listen, I didn't know. I was just told that. I was talking to somebody, and they said March would be a good time for them, and I said, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And they were like, "Well, don't you know that's Women's Month?" I said, "Oh, okay, learn something new every day." So, I'm not against it.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, at this time, all of our conversationalists, I encourage them to deal with the conversation cards.
Okay.
Because as I informed you, we have a big old live conscious conversations card night.
I'm nervous about my card, right?
Community conscious conversation cards night.
I'm excited. I can't wait to hear the card, but I'm nervous about my card.
Why are you nervous?
Because I'm just joking.
So anyway, Saturday, March 13th, from 7 to 9 o'clock. It's going to be live. We're going to be taking calls that night too.
Nice.
And,
that's a great idea.
Sister Kamora Harrington is working with me. And, she's trying to help her brother out. So we're going to put together about 12 to 14 people.
Nice.
And we're going to have a nice live. My brother October Brown is going to be hanging out with us.
Okay.
Hillary Honeybee Brown is going to be hanging out
Oh,
with
that's
us.
going to be
Sure.
hilarious.
Tashala Williams is going to be with us. So it's going to be a live group. It's going to be a live,
Oh, my
candid,
goodness.
honest group of people. So it's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, that's nice.
So now, Don Delina, see, now you got me calling you Don Delina.
Listen, we family. And I want to say, so you created Dondelina, and I don't even know if you know or remember, you actually created Dondeisms.
Yeah, I remember that. So, all we need you to do is pick a category.
Wow. I am going to go relationships is coming up because yeah, I'm gonna go, that seems safe.
Okay, you going with relationships?
I'm gonna go with relationships.
I thought you would be bold and pick religion or something.
No, I'm not even gonna go into letting your audience know how my religion journey went.
Don't even start. Don't even start. So, cars number 29 to 42.
You're gonna be on camera.
Pick a number.
Oh, 29 to 42. I want to go with 32.
32.
There's no way I can take you off screen. Give me a minute. Yeah, 32.
Okay. Now, just always remember, you chose the number.
Okay.
That's what I tell everybody. You chose.
I did choose number 32 on the Conscious Conversation cards. Because I also have you on my live for those who are watching. They know that they can get the Conscious Conversation cards from you as well.
Okay. So now, if you could undo or do over something from your past, what would it be?
Wow. If I could undo something from the past. So I'm going to give you my answer, which would be nothing, because everything to me is a learning experience and a growth opportunity. Every relationship that I've had with every man in my life has grown me in one way or another. I'm one of those women that I believe there are great men out there. I want to thank both my brothers for that, because I have an older brother that totally respected women, and I have my other brother who showed me the game that men play on women. But I will say that these women were not blind to what I've seen my brother do. And so for me, there's everyone I've dated has been a great man. And when it was time for the relationship to end, then it ended. So that's my answer. And I know you're going to make me pick something, but I can't think of anything that I would pick that I would undo.
No, actually, I'm not here to make you pick anything. I like people to flow with their flow and do their thing.
Yeah, there's nothing that I want to share. So, in my first heartbreak relationship, from that gentleman, we had so much fun. And I learned that in that relationship, that when I'm going to be in a committed partnership with someone, we have to laugh and we have to be friends and we have to have fun. My second heartbreak was with a gentleman that I actually wasn't mature enough for the relationship. And no matter what I did, he was just always there, right? And so I learned until he got tired of it, right? And I learned in that relationship what unconditional love looked like, because I had received it from this particular gentleman. And then in my third heartbreak, what I learned in that relationship was how to value me, And I learned that because I either had to accept sharing or value myself and not share. And so we go through these tests and challenges, and like the other post that I said, we all say what we would do until it's time to show improve and do it. And I could have made excuses about why I was going to stay. And I have learned that respect of myself and value of myself, that if I didn't give myself that, I wasn't going to get it from any man. And then the main thing was I had 2 daughters. And so a lot of times we as women, we stay in relationships because we're not able to be self-sufficient, independent, and self-reliant. And I had 2 daughters that I had to show them to figure out a way to, if you are not being valued in a relationship, that you're still going to be okay. And I've always pictured them coming to me as adults and saying, well, you can't tell me to not accept this because you accepted it. So my 4th heartbreak taught me how to value me and to prove that to myself and to my daughters. So these were great men to me, and I wouldn't change anything about none of the heartbreaks that I went through.
I can dig it. So the next question on this card is, can you stay loyal if your partner went to prison?
The question is, because my Facebook people are listening, can I stay loyal if my partner went to prison? I am not built that way. And I say that because I enjoy my femininity. I enjoy my sexuality. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not in a relationship now, but I've always said I didn't want to date a celebrity. I didn't want to date anyone in the service, and I didn't want to date anyone in jail. And so those were always things that I was careful in the dating world to do anything possible to not put myself in that environment. So my answer would be no, that I couldn't do that.
So what if, it's interesting because I've been doing this since quite a few people have picked this card.
Really?
Yeah, I've had conversations, and it seemed like everybody picks number 32.
Wow.
So what I've asked in the past is, what if your partner wound up in prison because they were protecting your children and his children, and he was protecting them, and it happened like that? You would still be like, listen, baby, I ain't built like that. I know you was protecting the kids, but I'm out.
So, again, you don't know until what you would do until it's time to prove it. So I gave my superficial answer, which was safe, meaning I don't want to give anyone an expectation that I can't uphold and honor in truth. I have been in a situation where I just cared about that person so much I didn't want anyone anyway. And it didn't matter where they were. And that was one relationship. I can say I can do it because I have done it with that person. But again, that relationship wasn't 10 and 15 years. If the one I love got a year, that's easy. That's easy, Bree. 2 years. 3 years, I don't want to say yes, and then you roll back this recording one day and be like, yeah, she didn't hold that up. So I'm gonna go with the safe answer and say no.
Okay. What is unconditional love?
So I received unconditional love in my second heartbreak. And unconditional means that I don't have any judgment on what qualifies me to not continue to stay true to myself and in the relationship. So I have unconditional love with my daughters. You know, there's a lot of decisions my daughters make that I don't agree with, but that's unconditional. When people come to me and they say, "Oh, yep, she's mine. She's mine. They both mine. I love them both, and it don't matter what they do." And you know, because we're family, there's a lot that I've been through with my daughters. They're mine, right? And there's nothing they could ever say or do that's gonna make me shame of them. There's nothing that they can ever say or do that's gonna make me feel like, you know, I get to judge them, you know. So that's my two relationships where I experienced unconditional love. I haven't really had that in a intimate relationship. And a lot of that too, I mean, we can't discount our childhood traumas. And so being that my dad wasn't there, yeah, I got daddy issues, you know. So um, I haven't had unconditional love, and I had to really learn how to have healthy relationships with men because I didn't have that first healthy relationship with my father. And I tried really hard to still maintain healthy relationships with men the best that I can. But my real life example of unconditional love has to come and is with my daughters and also with my mother. And also with my mother. You know, because mother daughter relationships aren't easy, you know. You know, but there's that's my mother. She taught me everything when it comes to strength, push through, make it happen, survival. You know, I still remember that ice storm and her showing us how to make an ice box, a refrigerator outside to preserve the food, how to get the coolers if there was the electricity went out, how to layer up in the clothes, and how to huddle with your first friends or your siblings to stay warm for body heat. I watched her work two jobs, put food on the table. So it, that's unconditional. You know, no matter sometimes, you know, we go at it, but I think that's normal. But at the end of the day, there's nothing my mother can do that would make me forget all of the sacrifices that she's made for me. I mean, we get to be bratty little kids, you know, and we could pick anything. But my mother, it doesn't matter what we go through. I have unconditional love for her, and I have unconditional love for my daughters. I haven't had it in a relationship. I received it one time, but I haven't been able to give it. And again, you know, I think that has a lot to do with the daddy-daughter trauma of my dad leaving when I was young.
I can dig it. Can love conquer broke?
Can love conquer broke? Get, elaborate a little bit more. Give me an example.
I don't know. It depends on how you see broke and how you see love. So
Can I
basically,
pass on that question? I don't really understand that one.
okay, all right. Well, you can pass on that. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
But what we're gonna do is choose another category, or you can go back to relationships if you want.
Let's go with money.
I knew you were gonna do. I knew you were gonna do money. I knew you were gonna do money.
Economic empowerment.
Yeah. Okay, what number?
Let's go with 10.
10. Remember, you chose it.
I chose number 10 in the money category.
All righty then. How important is having a retirement plan, investment portfolio, and or property ownership to your relationship?
Um, for me, financial security is important regardless of how you achieve it. I don't want to work forever. I want to be on the beach. I want to travel. I want to see the world. I don't want to be tied up in somebody's office and building someone else's wealth. So a strategy to working towards not working, whether it's a retirement plan or whatever those other vehicles you mentioned, to me is important. Um, I have stated to people of interest that I'm working on mine. And if you don't work on yours, I will leave you. Meaning, not the relationship, meaning I will leave you. I will get on the plane. I will go on vacation. I will go to the island. And if you haven't prepared, then I don't want to hear how you're going to leave me. So for me, it's important because I want to go with someone. I do want a partner, a companion that I can travel with.
I can dig it, even if it means taking the back shot.
I will not be taking that shot to travel. But I will say the private world is very interesting. I have been working on, the same as I'm working on not working, I'm working on making myself very private as possible. I do know people who are not in this system. And so I've been able to connect with private pilots. I've been able to connect with people who own their own boats. And I've been able to connect with people who own their own trucking and land travel. So I've been slowly backing out of this public system and making sure that I'm part of the private world so I don't have to do all that mess so that I can still travel.
How do you define the American dream?
How do I define the American dream? I don't. The American programming, the more I learn about it, is again a system that I'm backing out of. Um, and trying to go as private and under the radar as possible. When I'm looking at people who are wealthy and or successful, um, you don't see them on social media. You don't see them in center stage. You know, they're very low key. I do have a very, very wealthy family member, and you would never know. You know, that book, The Millionaire Next Door, that would describe my family member. You don't even know they exist. And so I don't, the American program is not a dream for me. It's a programming that I just decided I don't want to be a part of. I don't want to work till I'm 65. I don't know who made up that rule, but I don't want to work till I'm 65.
And the final question on that card is, what are your dreams?
So my dreams are financial freedom and time freedom to go where I want to go, do what I want to do, be where I want to be. I will say that in this time, that's more of a reality to me than not. And what I mean by that is like today, for instance, you know, I woke up and I said, wow, this is so amazing. Today, I'm going to go down to my lower level. I'm going to turn on my fireplace. I'm going to make me some tea and I'm going to read 2 books that I wanted to read. And I said, if I was working for someone, I wouldn't be able to do that. You know? So for me, it's the freedom to do what I want, when I want, how I want. And if I don't want, then I don't want. I don't have to. You know? So it's really simplistic. It's my life is really simplistic. And I heard someone say one time, the person who wants nothing has everything. You know, and it's nothing that I'm looking for outside of myself that I don't already have or that I can't create. And so that freedom to be able, I love this time. I call it the COVID, the beauty of COVID, COVID blessings. I love this time because If I was still doing things and operating the way I would have been too busy to find this way of living that I have right now, because I would have been too preoccupied doing everything for everyone else. Um, Sometimes I even feel guilty that I get up and do what I want to do, and my income has not been um, challenged. It has not been interrupted. But again, that has a lot to do with the fact that I don't have linear income. I don't do anything that puts me in linear income. Everything I do right now is money making money. And everything I do right now is building um, passive income. Everything, everything. If it doesn't bring passive income, um, I don't, because I want to be on the beach. So hopefully that answered your question.
Yes, you have answered the questions. So, I want to thank you
Thank you.
for hanging out with us tonight. If you have any social media or anything you want to share so that people can contact you if they choose to find out about the oils and the special things you have for women, and, you know.
Yeah, so they can the easiest way to find me is on Facebook. Um, the other websites, my.doterra.com / McBride Hair, McBrideHair.jewelpads.com, and Magnitude Jewelry / McBrideHair.com. For people who don't remember that, just inbox me on Facebook, and I will say, do it soon, because I'm also working on coming off social media. I just feel like that's a whole nother trap right now. If I didn't want to be standing in someone's office, I definitely don't want to be stuck on someone's computer all day. So I'm working on about a few more years, and not being on social media as well.
Okay, so and McBrideHair@gmail.com as well.
McBrideHair.com. McBrideHair.com is the website. If they want to email me, then info@McBrideHair.com.
I can dig it. Okay, so I thank you for hanging out with us. This is Make It Plain, and I'm your host, Alphonso McGurk III, presenting the Supremely Empowered Women Series. This is a great platform. I appreciate the women who come on. I look forward to having conversations with others. As I always say, I absolutely love you, and I always will, and I will never, ever give up on our people. Ever. Thanks for checking us out. We out, y'all. Peace.
Okay, while you on the